And I now give the floor to the distinguished representative of the Sovereign Order of Malta.
Distinguished co-chairs, excellencies, esteemed delegates. At the outset, our delegation wishes to thank the French Republic and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for convening this timely conference, alongside all other participants and stakeholders, at a time when collective dialogue is essential to uphold international humanitarian law and to alleviate the suffering of the most vulnerable. At this critical moment, the humanitarian dimension of efforts to achieve a peaceful and sustainable solution is a shared imperative for the international community. Beyond political deliberations, civilians across the affected territories face growing challenges, displacement, trauma, and barriers to essential aid. All stakeholders must reaffirm their obligations under international humanitarian law to ensure protection, unhindered access, and dignity for those most at risk. In cooperation with the Latin Patriarchate in Jerusalem and the Holy Family Parish in Gaza, the Order of Malta's humanitarian relief agency, Malteser International, has worked alongside international partners to deliver over 200 tons of food assistance to the population in Gaza City. We unreservedly condemn the terrorist acts of 7 October 2023 and the perpetrators, and call for the release of all hostages. Our prayers are certainly with the families who are suffering, being left in the limbo of the unknown. We can join others in calling for a cessation of all acts of violence that breach international law and humanitarian principles. Such acts only deepen human suffering and erode the trust needed for any sustainable peace. Protecting humanity must remain central to all collective efforts. Recent events have once again underscored the gravity of the situation. The Sovereign Order of Malta reiterates its view of the attack carried out on 17 July 2025 against the Catholic parish of the Holy Family in Gaza as wholly unacceptable. This assault on a place of worship, a shelter, and a humanitarian hub, which resulted in the deaths of 3 civilians, injuries to 10 others, including the parish priest, and the displacement of over 600 people, many of them children and patients dependent on life support, stands as a stark reminder of the urgent need to uphold the protection of humanitarian facilities and corridors. Any attack on religious minorities being singled out for their faith is unjustified. In this context, the Order of Malta echoes the appeal of His Holiness Pope Leo for an immediate halt to the barbarity of the war. Beyond this tragedy, humanitarian actors continue to face wider systemic challenges. Financial strain, delivery delays, and complex administrative barriers affect territories under the Paris Protocol. These obstacles threaten life-saving operations from medical care to trauma recovery and psychosocial support for uprooted communities and vulnerable children. We urgently call for an immediate cessation of hostilities and for the unimpeded and sustained delivery of desperately needed humanitarian aid into Gaza. Humanitarian organizations must be granted access to provide assistance without obstruction under clear guarantees of safety and security, both for the affected civilian population and for the personnel delivering life-saving aid, in accordance with international law. The scale of human suffering has become unimaginable. The images we continue to witness daily of infants and children so severely malnourished that they appear skeletal, unable even to cry, are a stark indicator of desperate urgency. This must not be allowed to continue. Through our neutral mandate and long-standing commitment to relief and medical assistance, the Sovereign Order of Malta will continue to stand with all partners to protect humanitarian lifelines. Our duty is clear: to ensure that the most vulnerable are not forgotten as the world works towards a peaceful and sustainable solution. We remain committed to working with partners to help shape these effective solutions. As Pope Leo reminded us only days ago, every human being has an intrinsic dignity.
I thank the distinguished representative of the Sovereign Order of Malta